2013-14 में उल्लेख हुआ था राष्ट्र के पटल पर निर्भया फंड का। 2014 में राष्ट्र ने अपना लोकतांत्रिक आशीर्वाद नरेंद्र मोदी जी को दिया। उनकी प्राथमिकता ये थी कि अगर महिला को सशक्त करना है तो सबसे पहले सुरक्षा के भाव का संचार महिलाओं के मध्य में करना होगा। आज बहुत ऐसे एक्सपर्ट्स हैं जिन लोगों ने स्वच्छता अभियान के बारे में विविध प्रकार की चर्चाएं की हैं। लाल किले की प्राचीर से राष्ट्र के इतिहास में पहली बार प्रधानमंत्री का ये कहना कि अगर हम नारी गरिमा में विश्वास करते हैं तो क्यों ना शुरुआत करें टॉयलेट बनाने से। For some it was a political pronouncement, but those who have worked for gender justice, they know just the fact that the Prime Minister of India from the ramparts of the Red Forts can centralize the issue of sanitation for women was such an empowering moment. That the Prime Minister said, can we, if we want to retain our daughters in school, ensure that we build a toilet separately for young girls in every school of our country and do so in just 1 year. There was a collaboration between governments and agencies, and we did build those toilets, 400,000 of them across the country in just 1 year, thereby helping curb dropouts of young girls from schools, especially in the dominion of the government. When the Prime Minister said, let us ensure that every Indian who is unbanked receives financial services, we saw a revolution in women and banking facilities. And for the first time in our history, 22 crore Indian women could open their bank account with the help and the support of the Prime Minister of India. Many scoffed at that time and said, एक गरीब औरत का बैंक खाता खोलकर क्या लाभ होगा। कोविड में उस लाभ से भली भांति सब परिचित हुए जब 30,000 करोड़ रुपए भारत की तिजोरी से सीधा एक गरीब महिला के बैंक के खाते में गए। अगर आज महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी के उद्बोधन को आपने सुना, उन्होंने बड़े गर्व का अनुभव करते हुए उल्लेखित किया कि कैसे मुद्रा योजना में भी बहनों की भागीदारी 70% रही। To those who have studied this financial scheme, you know that this was not a gendered financial scheme, not particularly tailored for women. And knowing that we are all restless to hear the President of India, let me just add this much. What the Prime Minister identified, what the Prime Minister supported, was the inherent talent of Indian women and their ability to be entrepreneurial. The fact that a poor woman somewhere in some crevice of our democracy, in some village, in some small town, could bring about a small business plan, could go to a bank and convince the banking establishment of her business plan, receive the mudra support and return it back, so much so that the NPA for women today in that segment is only up to 1%. The fact that out of the 320 million such loans given out in the country, 70% of those beneficiaries were women, speaks about the latent talent, the potential that is to be unleashed. And that is why the National Commission for Women today, as you celebrate your Foundation's Day, you rightly say Shashakt Nari, Sashakt Bharat, that the lady concern that you speak of is equally dedicated to the building of a new India is what we celebrate on your Foundation Day. My best wishes to the National Commission for Women, my best wishes to your partner agencies and states, the State Commission for Women, and again, my gratitude, Madam President, not only for your presence, but your inspiring life journey. Jai Hind. I had the good pleasure and privilege of listening to the Honorable President's address to both Houses of Parliament this morning. और अगर आपने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी का वो उद्बोधन सुना तो उस उद्बोधन में न सिर्फ सशक्त नारी का उल्लेख है बल्कि एक समर्पित नारी भारत को कैसे सशक्त कर सकती है उसका प्रतिबिंब न सिर्फ उस भाषण में था बल्कि आज स्वयं महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी की उपस्थिति उस बात का राष्ट्र को संदेश है। मैडम प्रेसिडेंट, it is with a deep sense of pride that not only the women of India but also the men of India look upon you. because in your journey is a message for every Indian that the women's agency is not the responsibility of women alone. That change with regards to women's rights and responsibilities is not the authority of women alone. That in your mere presence, but also your journey, Madam President, you tell every Indian resolutely that no circumstance can deny you the privilege of serving your country. For your presence, Madam President, and for your blessings to the NCW and the Ministry of Women and Child Development, at the onset of my address, let me give a deep sense of gratitude on behalf of the Ministry and on behalf of the National Commission for Women. Rekha Sharma ji, in her speech, has enunciated many measures that have been undertaken by the National Commission for Women. There have been many pledges, many seminars, symposiums, many tweets that have come to the rescue of women across the nation. But there are stories which are untold, even today on this very dais. Stories of women in pregnancies reaching out during COVID, and at just the dial of a WhatsApp number, them being rescued. Stories of young girls who are trafficked, who find that absolutely nobody would listen to their call for rescue, but the NCW, along with members of the Ministry of Women and Child Development, State Commission for Women, members, and state governments collaborating on issues of women, particularly women who need rescue and relief. These are stories that we hope lessen as the days go by. These are stories that we hope provide solutions to many people across the country. In her announcement, Rekha Sharma spoke about women and how through women we can lead ourselves to a developed nation and a strong society. But what are those little efforts that have still not been spoken of? The National Commission for Women has begun in its undertaking the anti-trafficking campaign, not only in collaboration with the state commissions for women and state governments, but also universities particularly. And that is why today, from this dais as Minister of Women and Child Development, I would like to give a particular note of thanks to universities that have opened up their doors for engagement with the Government of India and the National Commission for Women on issues of not women's empowerment, but women-led development. I'm particularly pleased, ladies and gentlemen, to share with you that under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, how does governance centralize the issue of women?